welcome to Nugg Talk.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Nugg Talk, a weekly podcast where we talk about everything going on in the NBA, and more specifically, everything going on with your Denver Nuggets. I'm your host, Loki, and once again, I'm with my co-host, Phil. What's up, Phil?
Sup?
How you doing?
I'm doing so good. I work a lot and I'm tired and I don't want to work. We'll get into my career at another date. I would like to shout out. We have a guest today.
We do have a guest.
He
today.
may or may not say anything, but we got our friend Kieran. He's our residential Raptors fan.
I will say something. Hey guys, go Nuggets, but also go Raptors. Yeah.
You won a championship.
Thanks,
you
Kieran.
should be very proud of yourself right now.
I am.
He won a championship. That's something we are striving for. One
Kawhi
day.
left though.
Kawhi did leave. Hey, man, at least we can all agree he didn't go to the Lakers.
Yeah, we're happy about that.
So, we can be happy about that. And speaking about the Lakers, Phil, they always seem to somehow be in the fucking news. Because Boogie Cousins tore his ACL when he was practicing in Vegas, and now he looks like he's going to be out for another season. It also looks most likely like his career is most likely for the most part over. Like, he'll still can play in the NBA, but he won't ever be as good as he was, and he probably will also not get anywhere near the amount of money that he could have got when he was with the Pelicans. So what are your thoughts on Boogie getting hurt?
I mean, I feel bad for him. It sucks. 2 years in a row of pretty devastating injuries. 3 years in a row, right? I forgot. It's unfortunate for him. 3 years in a row, 2 injuries though, right?
Well, the first one was the Achilles, then he had a quad, and now he has the ACL.
Yeah,
So it's been all of his leg.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He was supposed to be like a big piece on both of these teams. Yeah, I feel bad for him. His career is more or less over, probably. Hopefully he'll come back strong, but I have a feeling the Lakers are going to cut him. So
I think the Lakers have to cut him because they are looking into replacements, but we'll get into later. I do also feel bad for DeMarcus Cousins because, we just don't want anyone to get hurt. But it is also kind of on his own part because he kind of bet on himself and he also wanted to ring chase.
yeah,
It was a mixture of both things. He did both because when he went to the Warriors, he had options to re-sign with the Pelicans for like
a lot more money.
Yeah, like I think $100 million extension for like 4 years or something like that. He said no. He had a chance to sign with other teams. I think even the Lakers that year too for more money. He said no again, and he signed that minimum with the Warriors to try to like better his reputation and also win a ring, which he didn't get. So that's just it's on his own fault at this point too. But you can't no one knows. Injuries happen.
Yeah. Injuries happen. I had a thought, but it has escaped me. But
the thought escaped you, Phil. Come on. You're not old, man.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of shows that ring chasing isn't always what it's cracked out to be because it hasn't
you
worked.
shouldn't do when you're that young.
Yeah,
Unless Kieran says if you're Jeremy Lin, I guess.
Jeremy Lin's okay. Well,
that's a different thing. Okay, he has a ring, true. But the thing is, Jeremy Lin's not on the level of DeMarcus Cousins. When you're that good and you're that young, you should take the money.
Yeah, you should take the money.
Especially when he was already coming off an injury. That's the thing that shocks me. It's like he was a free agent coming off the torn Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would most likely take the money when they're offering you the money.
Yeah, he felt disrespected, I guess, but
I think it's just weird because if a football player does that, like Emmanuel Sanders, if he was a free agent, he just came off of that torn ACL or Achilles that he had, he would have took the money. He wouldn't be like, nope, I'm betting on myself. I'm going to the Patriots for a minimum. That's not how it works. I guess I get they're different leagues physicality wise and everything, but it's not how it works. So yeah, sucks for him. Good thing for us because the Lakers won't be as good. So that's a positive. I mean, now we don't have to worry about DeMarcus Cousins and Jokic.
Yeah,
I feel like Jokic wins that matchup now.
Yeah, Jokic would win that matchup. That's not the Jokic matchup we need to worry about against the Lakers, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't even think he was gonna start at the beginning of the season. I know you did, but I didn't. I thought JaVale was gonna start.
It's gonna be a weird team.
So at this point, they're at where exactly I thought they would be. They had JaVale starting, but they are looking into backup options, and they have requested to meet with people and brought people into their gyms to look at. Most notably being Dwight Howard. They requested access from the Grizzlies to bring him in and give him a workout and see how he is. They also brought in Joakim Noah, and they brought in Maurice Spates. 3 guys who are decent. I would say the best out of them is probably Dwight. Probably Dwight. It might be. It's actually probably Joakim Noah.
I
He was
think
pretty
Joakim. Joakim's still got that defense.
good. But it's just like Joakim Noah hates LeBron. Like historically hates LeBron.
Yeah, that's true. But so does Rondo. So
Yeah, but Rondo was more
and
like
Lance Stevenson.
Lance Stevenson never hated LeBron. He just liked to shit on LeBron. Like, and Rondo was more like, I'm a Celtic. I hate anyone the Celtics hate. Like, Joakim Noah actually despised LeBron James. Like, I'm positive he's made some pretty harsh jokes on the whole LeBron situations for everything that happens, like the classic ones.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I feel like it's going to end up being Dwight, which would be interesting because I feel like Laker fans probably aren't.
They're probably still upset, yeah.
Aren't thrilled by him.
But, I mean, either way, not the best options that they have. And I do think that they probably have to eventually cut DeMarcus Cousins, but even if they do, it's not like a lot of money they're going to lose on that. He didn't get that much money. But Joakim Noah, I do think probably makes the most sense because he played pretty well on the last team he was on when he was on the Grizzlies. So,
Yeah, he was pretty good.
was he on the Grizzlies? Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did pretty good over there, and but then again, Joakim Noah also said in the past the reason why he was bad in New York was because there was too many distractions in New York, and there's just as many distractions in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe
true.
you don't get him
Maybe you don't want to deal with him being an idiot like that, I guess.
because he's a crazy guy, and so's his family. Because you saw his dad fucking snatch a fish out of the water and ate it. It's a crazy family they got going on there.
Yeah. He's always been a eccentric dude.
But that's it for the Laker news, so we're done with that. As for other news, the NBA rookie vote came out. They vote on Rookie of the Year, most likely to be the best player out of the draft, best shooter. I forgot what was the other ones, but best Rookie of the Year was Zion. He was like by far and away the pick, and then it was Ja, who was like 27, I think. Zion was 35, Ja was 27, so they were 1 and 2 for Rookie of the Year, which I think makes sense. That's most people's picks.
Yeah. You would say they're the 2 best players in the draft?
If anything, Zion's probably just gonna win it on clout.
Yeah, he'll win it. He'll probably win it even if he doesn't deserve it.
But he'll probably deserve it, unless
Probably.
MPJ gets it, and my boy.
Yeah, if MPJ gets it, then we're gonna win a championship.
That'd be amazing. He's not gonna get it.
No, he's not.
And then other than that, excuse you, kid.
Kieran just burped. Wow, we're trying to record a podcast here.
Respect the realm. Other than that, there was most likely to succeed out of the rookies, like to be the best rookie in the class, and it was a surprising vote. It wasn't Zion. It was actually Cam Reddish. What do you think of that?
I mean, I recently discovered that he apparently has a lot of potential.
That's
So-
what I say, but I mean that's what most people kind of say. But
I
have your opinion. Have your own opinion on it.
It's Zion. Zion's gonna have the best career. It's Zion. If he,
It's not going to be RJ Kieran.
we have Kieran shaking his head. Who do you think is gonna have the best career?
I actually do think it's gonna be Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish can shoot. Cam Reddish has good athleticism, good size, and I think Atlanta Hawks are gonna be a great team. I don't think RJ is gonna be the best, mostly because I think RJ mirrors Andrew Wiggins a little bit too much,
You mean DeMar DeRozan?
and a little bit of DeMar DeRozan. But DeMar DeRozan's like the peak. Like that's the best you get out of like an RJ Barrett or like an Andrew Wiggins. Cam Reddish can shoot. Cam Reddish can play defense. I mean, he didn't have the most amazing college career, but I feel like if you give him a little bit more time in the league, he'd be pretty good.
Kieran is a Duke fan as well, so he's pretty knowledgeable about all these Duke
Players. He
players.
watched them quite a bit.
So he knows quite a bit. So yeah, look out for Cam Reddish.
I mean, I get it because I also watch a lot of the Duke games because I am a UNC fan. So I hate Duke, but I have to watch them a lot because we play them a lot. And Cam was terrible last year out of the 3. He was by far the worst. He was outplayed by their point guard, Trey. It's Trey Jones, right? Yeah, he was outplayed by Trey Jones. Trey Jones was he was the 3rd option on that team. But, like Kieran said, he does have a lot of potential. And if he can reach it, he can be one of the top two-way players in the league. It's just like, will he reach it? It seemed like a lot with Cam last year. The issue is he just like shows up for like one game and then he just takes a break, and then there's no consistency in how he plays, and the effort that he shows is kind of like wavers every now and then in games. But then again, who knows? Maybe that's just because he was a third option and he was never used to being the third option
maybe,
before.
And he was just, maybe his mind wasn't fully committed to college.
Maybe he was just like already set to go.
A lot of one and done players.
I mean, it seemed like they were all kind of focused to win a championship, but maybe you're right. Maybe he was just already thinking about the NBA, and he was just not okay with being behind two guys who were presumed to be better than him. Maybe he just didn't handle it well. Who knows? No one knows but him. So I could see why they voted him, and also like, I feel like most people can't vote for themselves, so like Zion had to probably vote for Cam or RJ, so that
probably changed things a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I could see it be Cam, but I agree with you. I think it's still, at the end of the day, it's going to be Zion's going to be the best player, just because, I mean, look at him, he's huge.
The only person who's going to get in his own way is like himself.
Yeah, like
as far as his development goes, so
he's freaking huge. Like, if he's got to be, if not, I think it's either him or Ja. I think Ja's really fucking good.
I think Ja's gonna be I mean, it's hard to say Zion's not NBA ready, but I think Ja is the most NBA ready player coming out of
that's because of his size.
Yeah,
I mean, his size makes him already ready to play in the NBA because he's fucking huge, and he's able to guard most of the people in the league, and most of the people in the NBA can't guard him because of his size. Like I said, if once that Jamal Zion pick and roll happens and Jamal has to guard him on a switch, I'm gonna lose my shit because he's gonna get bodied.
Yeah, he's gonna get bodied, but it's not gonna just be Jamal. It'll be everybody.
Figure out a way to do it, but like, we'll see how it goes. We'll remember if it goes. But Kieran actually gave us the good news. Kieran, you want to tell them the news you said about the 5 past due players?
Yeah, so they do this question every year with the rookie class. They ask, who's going to have the best rookie career, and the past 5 have all been pretty hyped up Duke players that have been pretty disappointing besides Jason Tatum. So the past 5 have been, I believe, in no order particularly, Jahlil Okafor, Jabari Parker, Brandon Ingram, Jason Tatum, and I think now Cam Reddish. So, I mean, among those, I think Jason Tatum's the only one who's really shown, like, he's a great NBA player. But, obviously it's kind of early in a lot of those guys' careers, besides Ja and Jabari Parker. But, yeah, I mean, I do hope Cam Reddish is good, but I'm not expecting, like, the most. He kind of does remind me a lot of Brandon Ingram.
Thank you, Kieran.
There you go, the Duke insight from the Dookie. So he has a lot of knowledge on that. So we'll see how it goes. And also, if you heard any additional noises, that's because Kieran was playing Mario Kart while he was talking into the mic. So that's fine. If I can't edit those out, that's why those are there. And then the last question they did, or last like notable one, was like, who is your favorite player? And now we're finally at the age where Kobe is not their favorite player. Like, he was nowhere in this vote. Like, usually he's at least second or third. He's been still kind of like wavering in there. It was all LeBron, KD. Even Devin Booker got a vote, which I thought was really weird. And no Steph. There was no Steph. Damian Lillard got one. But
kind of strange. But
the Devin Booker one was really strange to me. Who voted Devin Booker as their favorite player?
Probably a Kentucky guy.
I just feel like that's really weird, but I guess. But, LeBron's the favorite player of most people in the league because, like us, well, like me, they grew up watching LeBron. You guys kind of didn't, but, And then that's all the news for the most part of this week. Actually, there is one Nuggets-related news. Jamal opened up a basketball court in his hometown. So, Kitchener. There you go, Kitchener, Canada. He opened up a basketball court. So good for Jamal being a nice human being and giving kids basketball because ball is life.
Good job, Jamal.
So congrats on you, Jamal. We really appreciate you doing that. And now we can get into our topic of the week. So there's been a lot of talk, going on with like the NBA 2K teams and everything they're doing about all-decade teams. Who makes your all-decade team with this? Who makes your all-decade team with that? Like last week, 2K released their all-decade teams for 2010s, 2000s, 1990s. And it made me start thinking, maybe we could do the same for at least this decade of Denver Nuggets basketball. Even though it wasn't the greatest decade of Denver Nuggets basketball, we can still talk about it. So we're going to do that today. We're going to go through our starting lineup of who we think were the best 5 players throughout the decade from 2010 to 2020. So this kind of excludes Carmelo, unless Phil put Carmelo in his, but Carmelo only played like half a season in this decade.
I did not put Carmelo in this.
Okay, so Carmelo is not going to be in this because he just wasn't in the
traded
decade
in
at all.
2009 or 10.
He
right?
got traded in 2010, and then like halfway was gone. So it doesn't make sense to put him in it.
Yeah.
If you really think about it. But yeah, so we'll just go through it. Phil, go through your starting 5.
Like all 5 of them, or do you want to like do each position?
We can go each. So you do your point guard, I'll do my point guard.
My point guard's Ty Lawson. He was here until 2015, so I think that he was pretty good. Everybody thought he was going to break out. He was never as good as everybody said he would be, but he was
funny.
I'm getting distracted.
Here, stop distracting him.
Yeah, I would say Ty Lawson. He was a good player. He was a solid point guard. His career kind of fell off the face of the earth due to his own personal issues, but he was a good player while he was around. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was a good player until, he made a lot of dumb decisions. But for the most part, he was a pretty good player. We got him as a rookie. He's from UNC, so dear to my heart for a little bit at the time. I was very happy when we drafted Ty Lawson, and he was probably the best point guard that we had just because he did spend 6 seasons with us. He averaged 14.2 points in those 6 seasons and like 6 assists, which is pretty good. And I know Jamal is right now the better point guard and looking to be better than Ty Lawson ever was, but Jamal has only played 3 seasons?
Yeah, we can't put him in here yet.
It just doesn't make sense to put him in here yet. And he hasn't really gained any accolades. Like, Ty Lawson almost made an all-star team. He didn't, but he really should have the year of 2013. But he didn't. I mean, he averaged 17 points, and he had 8 assists, and he didn't make the goddamn all-star team. So, that was really frustrating. But I do agree with you. I think he was the best point guard of that decade. If you get him in his prime, he's faster than 90% of players in the league.
Yeah, he was a speedy guy.
He was a speed demon, and he could kind of shoot threes. He was just daggering them a lot, which was really annoying. He had no arc in his threes, but it was sometimes when he got going. Like, I think he had a game against Minnesota where he had 10 threes or 8 threes. So when he got hot from 3, he was really fucking good. So
something I do remember is back when the Thunder, I think it was the season the Thunder made the finals and lost to the Miami Heat LeBron. We were playing them once, and Ty Lawson made a game winner over Kevin Durant, and I was
at that game. Everyone lost their shit. That was the first time I ever felt Pepsi Center actually shake. It was shaking.
It was pretty hyped.
It was probably the same feeling that happened when Jamal went off in Game 2 against the Spurs. It was shaking in that arena. So that was pretty impressive, to be honest. And also he's the best ankle breaker we've ever had. I think. Yeah. I can very factually say he's the best ankle breaker player we've ever had. He broke so many Lakers players' ankles. He was
a pretty underrated player when he was at his peak.
Yeah, when he wasn't doing alcohol related things.
Yep.
And I just think he was basically not as good Tony Parker. That's the best way. He was a poor man's Tony Parker.
Yeah, I think that is fair.
That was the best way to explain him. That's how Scott Hastings used to explain him, and that's what I'm going to stick with, and I agree with you. And now, who do you think is the best shooting guard for the Denver Nuggets in the decade?
I was going to say Aaron Aflalo, but he really only played 3 seasons for us, 2010 to 2020, so I think I'm just going to give it to our boy.
You can give it to Gary?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Gary. Unless I'm forgetting someone big, I can't think of anybody else it could have been. So I'm going to give it to Gary. I think Gary is a better player than Aaron Aflalo, even back then. So,
I mean, they are very similar players. They were both 3-and-D guys, but you're right, because once we got Aflalo for a little bit of the early 2000s, and he was good. Then we traded him, and we got him back, and he wasn't good.
Yeah.
So there was a weird mixture of Aflalo. I really liked Aflalo when we originally had him. and I think he was really good. And he was at one point, I think, near like one of our top scorers on the team. That's when we were really bad. So
Yeah.
I do really love Gary, so I can definitely see why you go with Gary. I think he's proved that he is, if behind Millsap or in front of Millsap, I think in front of Millsap, our best defender on our team, especially best perimeter defender. That's without a question.
For sure.
Last year, not this last year, the year previous, he was one of our best 3-point shooters. Hopefully he goes back to that form. And then he's pretty young, so he can still get better. And he's also our longest tenured player now. He's been with us for 6 years. That's the longest tenured guy we have. Which is kind of crazy to think because he's still so young, but
Yeah.
he's been on the team the longest. But I did not pick Gary Harris. I picked Andre Iguodala.
Nah.
I picked Andre Iguodala because Andre Iguodala was still the best shooting guard we ever had in that decade, even though he only played a season for us.
That's fair. I mean, I considered him, but I took the years into account for this for me.
Yes, you can do that. I just took best who brought the most to the Nuggets and who was the best overall guy. And I think Andre Iguodala was definitely the best overall guy. He didn't have like amazing numbers with us, but it was because mainly he was more of a leader and more of a defensive guy for us. He changed our defense from like last in the league to like top 5.
That's true.
And it was literally just him. And he made us one of the top teams in the league until Gallo got hurt. Like we went on a, was it 26 or 24 game in a row win streak with him?
That's true. We were really good that season.
Exactly. So I think he just was one of the most valuable shooting guards we had. And he's by far a better defender than Gary is. No offense to Gary. Gary could get there at some point. But that Andre Iguodala is one of the best defenders I've ever seen in my life.
I I agree with you. He's definitely the best shooting guard we had, but he pissed me off, so I won't include.
Yes, he did leave, and we have hard feelings. It's fine. I can look past it for the all-decade team because he's the best shooting guard we had. I mean, he sucks at 3-point shooting, and he sucks at free throws, but he plays defense, so that's all that matters to me. Because at that point, if we're taking that Iguodala, he shot 57% from the free throw, and he shot 31% from 3, which for him I feel like it's not actually that bad. But
It's pretty
good.
It's pretty good for him.
It's good for him, but it's not good overall. So that's why I went with Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, he did screw us over and went to Golden State, but like, I mean, just look at his
He created
resume,
a
man.
monster.
He's a great fucking player.
He is really good. He's a really solid player, even now that he's super old.
Yeah, and
He's
who
on
knows? Maybe he comes
He's
back
on the
for this
Grizzlies,
year.
right?
Yeah, so he's gonna leave a team. So maybe he somehow winds up back on our team.
I would take him back, 100%.
I mean, we've looked into it, so that would be cool, and then that would also make my case even better.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's do it. I hope it happens. And then next we can go to small forward. And since you said no Carmelo to this, I'm assuming I already know who you picked.
Yes, my all-time Nugget small forward is Will Barton. I'm kidding.
For 2010, 2020.
I'm kidding. It's Danilo Gallinari, obviously. He was our best player for like honestly most of this decade. So he was really solid. He tore his ACL, and then that kind of was the beginning of the end.
It hurt him so much,
which really was unfortunate. Before that, he was a monster. He made some crazy shots. Yeah, it's got to be Gallo.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Gallo because Gallo is by far always like our leading scorer for the most part, unless he got injured.
Yeah.
And I also thought when we originally got Gallo, if he didn't get injured in that 2013 season, he was going to be an all-star the next year. But unfortunately, ACL injury happened. He never really turned out to be the same. He's kind of getting back in peak form now. He just had a really good year with the Clippers, but he was never really the same afterwards. And just like some of the times when he would go in the lane and he would just look to get fouled in that score frustrated me so much. But I also picked Gallo because Gallo was literally our franchise.
Oh yeah, he was
I don't even know how many years. Let's see, 6?
I think he played from 2009 to like 2016.
Yeah, he was with us for 6 years. He was with us since he was 22, so he left when he was 28.
Dang.
So he was with us for a long time. He brought a lot of scoring to our team. Yes, he's terrible defensively, but name a small forward we've had in this decade who wasn't terrible defensively. You can't.
Exactly.
You can say Wilson Chandler, but he was worse. That's why he didn't start. So I definitely think that Danilo Gallinari makes the most sense to be on the all-time list. Also, he passed like so many of our records on like all-time Nuggets lists. Like he's on there for most three-pointers made. Like he passed Chauncey for that. He's definitely on there for most points scored. I bet you he's in the top 10 at least.
He was the closest thing we had to an all-star since Melo, and then obviously now.
Yeah.
We got
Until
Jokic.
from the Melo to Jokic era, he was the closest we had there. At least he made the most sense for it. He never got there because obviously there was way better small forwards.
Exactly.
And our team wasn't ever really that good. But, he stuck with us a lot, and I give him a lot of praise for that.
Yeah, and he didn't want to leave even when we got rid of him. So
Yeah, no, it was our decision, but it was for the better, I think.
It
I know
was.
he's good now, but, he was expensive, and he wasn't doing that good. Because towards the end, he wasn't doing that great. Like, he went from 19 points to 16 points that second year. It was like, what happened?
yeah, he had a bad season in his last year with us. I remember that very clearly.
And he just wanted too much money. So it made
Yep.
no sense. Will Barton was looking good. Wilson Chandler, I thought was better. He wasn't.
Mm-mm.
But I thought he was. And if he did stay, we wouldn't have MPJ. So,
True.
who will hopefully be our small forward for the next decade.
Yeah.
I would hope so, but maybe not. So yeah, I think all Nuggets fans can agree it was most likely Danilo Gallinari for small forward position. There's no one else. If you say Will Barton, I don't agree with you. If you
No, it was a
say
joke.
Torrey Craig, I don't agree with you.
You know how I feel about Will Barton.
I mean,
So
we all feel about Will Barton. Actually, they don't. There's some people who comment that they really like Will Barton, and I accept your opinion. You can have that opinion. I
he
just
has
don't.
been solid, but he's not a starter. So
That's what I'm
you
saying.
won't convince me
I'm
of that.
okay if he's on the team. Just don't start. Just start Torrey Craig. But, we'll get off of that. We talked about that a lot. And now, moving on to the 4 position, who is your all-time power forward for the 2010-2020 Denver Nugget team?
I know you really don't like him, but there's really no other answer to this, unless I guess you could say Paul Millsap, but
Are you going Kenneth Faried?
it's Kenneth Faried. It has to be Kenneth Faried. He was our second best player for a really long time. He never made it over the hump, and the NBA kind of outgrew him. But when he was on, he was a monster. There's just no one else. If you say Paul Millsap, I get it, but also he hasn't even played a full season with us yet. So
He did last year.
he missed some games.
He missed some, but if you count the ones he played last year with that, and it's like
He's probably barely played 82 games with us.
he's there. We have playoff games.
Yeah, but that's one season. Kenneth was here, I'm pretty sure, for 7 years.
I can look up how long Kenneth was here. I think he was here for like 6 years
I
too.
just looked it up. Hold on. Here, I got it. He was here from what?
He was here from when he was 22
Got
to
it.
28, same as Gallo, 6 years.
6 years.
So he was there for 6 years. I get it, and I understand it. And when he started, he was very, very good. I loved Kenneth Faried when he started, like everyone else did in Denver. He was a fan favorite because he just
He
brought
got
the
a
most
nickname,
energy.
the Manimal. That's
Yeah,
like
the Manimal was a fucking great nickname. It's an amazing nickname that was just given to him. But I also just think he was so frustrating to watch towards the end because, like you said, the NBA did outgrow him.
yeah.
If we were still in the Lob City days or like the pace and not like space days, just like fast break, like whoever's the fastest team and has the best iso ball days and didn't matter about 3-pointers, he'd be great on any team. But we're not in those days, and I don't want him on my team. But I
Yeah.
can get why he's there. I mean, he had 10 points. 11. He always had at
He was
least like 10 points of us average.
Yeah, he was a double-double machine.
Yeah,
So
he was. He's probably one of our leaders in double doubles.
is he your all-time power forward?
No, I did not pick him.
Who did you pick?
I picked Paul Millsap.
Yeah, I mean, Millsap's a better player.
As I said,
but-
I'm picking based off overall best player for our franchise and for that team.
Showing respect to loyalty.
You can show respect to loyalty, but my God, did you see this man shoot a 3-pointer?
Yeah, Kenneth Faried was really bad towards the end. I
Did you
admit
see
it.
this man play defense against LeBron and just get bodied every single time?
Don't get me wrong. I'm really glad he's not on our team anymore. So
Like
I much
get it.
prefer Paul Millsap, but
Like he was good enough that we were okay with trading away Nene in Nene's prime. That's an accomplishment to him, and he also won the Rookie All-Star Game award with us.
yeah, I mean,
He won the FIBA World Cup MVP with us.
Yeah,
He has accolades with us, but my God.
I think he deserves some love, so I'm gonna give it to him.
Fine, you can give him the love. I did not give him love. I'm going with Paul Millsap because Paul Millsap has proven to us, even though, yes, he might be getting paid a little bit too much for the things he offers, he's still the best power forward I think we've ever had in a long time since, like, Kenyon Martin, like, prime days. But Kenyon Martin prime days weren't even that good. Maybe even LaFonso Ellis, if we go all the way back there. Like, he's one of the best power forwards we had in a very long time.
That's
I know
true.
his stats aren't, like, amazing.
He's one of the most valuable players on our team. So,
Like, he only had 14 points the year before. This year he had 12. But it's just like, I just can't see you pick anyone else other than him. Because I think he just makes the most sense. He provides the most defense. He does the most of everything else that you can have. Like, he can guard basically 1 through 5. Like, point guards will beat him, but he can do that for the most part. He can rebound. He can pass. He can shoot. He can score in the post. He can do everything you've ever wanted him to do. So, like, I don't get why you would pick Kenneth Faried.
he's better. I know Paul Millsap's a better player. It's just he's been here for 2 years. He got injured.
In the decade, man.
He is in the decade.
He's in there. 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, and then 2019, 2020. So that's 3 years.
That's true. Doesn't beat the 6 though. I don't know. I think it's a fair argument. The way we're putting our all decade teams is a little different.
You're going by years and like how much you achieve with the team. I'm going by like overall
how good you are, because I didn't even consider Iguodala in this.
I considered Iguodala only because I remembered how fondly that year was. That was one of the best Nugget years I ever watched until the end, but it was by far one of the best Nugget years of all time. We won 24 or something games in a row.
That's true. That was one of the best Nugget years. I think it's fair. I don't think you're wrong for either of those picks.
And Millsap has helped us in the playoffs. Like, Kenneth didn't help us in the playoffs. Kenneth got
was garbage in the
freaking
playoffs.
Bodied by Steph Curry in the playoffs because he can't guard him. So what do you want?
No, that's fair. I think that's very fair.
So I think, like, if you put that team up against people, I want them to do good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then I think the last one, it's a very easy one for both of us.
It's Costa Koufos.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, actually, it's Mozgov. You know it's Mozgov, the boy.
Or JaVale.
It's JaVale. Nope, it's JaVale. JaVale totally deserved all the money we gave him after one good playoff performance against the aging Andrew Bynum. That was totally a good decision. And then we...
Thanks, Masai.
Yeah. Thanks, Masai. What were you doing? But, it's actually Jokic.
It's Jokic. He's our first All-Star since Melo, like, obviously.
First team All-NBA, first All-Star, 4th in MVP votes. Literally, we drafted him during a Taco Bell commercial. Like, how much more of a legend could this man be? But, it's Jokic.
It's Jokic, and he's going to probably be on the next decade team, too. He's that young and that good, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the guys we have right now will be on the next decade.
You would hope so. You'd hope that Jamal and Jokic, Gary,
Michael Porter
Jr.,
not Millsap, because he's going to be old.
Millsap.
But it'd be maybe Vanderbilt
or Bol Bol.
Could be Bol Bol. Who knows? Oh, yeah. He was also... We didn't talk about that.
We didn't even talk about that.
That was the one we were supposed to talk about. We didn't talk about that. The rookies voted him as the steal of the drafts. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Which is not surprising.
I mean, it's not. But that's good to know that they also, his peers, think he's actually really good. So it's not just like...
We need to sign him, though.
And we'll get him on a 2-way contract eventually. I don't know what we're doing with all these other guys we signed from the G League. But I guess we're just testing them out for preseason. We'll figure it out as it goes. But yeah, it's Jokic. Jokic by far makes the most sense. Best team of, best center I think we've ever had since Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, and he's better than Mutombo. He's better than Mutombo.
Mutombo was defensive player.
Did he ever make an All-Star game with us? Or did he ever make an All-Star game in general?
He definitely made All-Star games. I just don't know if he did with us. He might have been not that good enough yet to make it with us. I can check.
I mean, I don't want to disrespect Mutombo. You know he's my boy, but...
Dikembe was one of the best, Dikembe was one of the best defenders of all time.
Yeah, he deserves the respect. Maybe I won't say he's our best center ever yet, but Jokic will probably go down as our best center ever. He might even go down as our best player ever, so.
Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe not there.
Well,
Alex English is a very good player.
Yeah, you never know. If we get a ring with him, then that changes everything.
Whoever gets a ring is obviously our best player.
Exactly. So
I mean, he has to get a ring first.
yeah, he'll get there.
All right, his first All-Star game was in. Wait, he says 1992. That doesn't make sense. 1995. Yeah, he made All-Star game with us. So
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't give it to Jokic yet then.
So like the Kembe is definitely probably the best center for right now. Jokic is gonna pass him. And then
For
after
sure.
that, the best center actually of all time in our history is Dan Issel. Like that's still our best center.
Dan
Because-
Issel was good.
Dan Issel was very good. It was before our time, but if you look back, that was an amazing center. So, but yeah, Jokic, he's the best one we had. He's by far better than JaVale McGee.
Yeah,
He's way better than Mozgov.
he's the best center we've had in the last
Well, there's
almost
centers
30
that we had.
years.
We had Mozgov, we had McGee, we had Kufis,
Nurkic.
we had Nurkic, who could have been
He
on
could have
this
been
list, but
on
we
this list.
we had a better guy. He
Yeah.
probably would have been.
He's probably the second.
Yeah, he probably is actually number 2 if we think about it.
Yeah.
But he got outplayed, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, not unfortunately.
I mean, not unfortunately. I wish we could have had them both. I still
Yeah.
liked Nurkic when he was on the team. Now I
Yeah.
hate him.
He would have been a good backup, but he doesn't. He's too good to be a backup.
He is too
so.
good to be a backup. Who else did we have?
Do you count Nene? I don't even know how much.
We had Nene, but that was again for like half a season.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We had
Anthony Randolph.
Yeah, Anthony Randolph. He was like a power forward too, but he never played. He
He was so bad.
was pretty bad. We had Darrell Arthur was a power forward again. He was in
Yeah.
the center.
I forgot about Darrell Arthur.
Darrell Arthur was a great guy.
I like Darrell Arthur.
He just never played because he wasn't good. He was a great guy.
I feel like that's pretty much it. It was like JaVale, Kufis, and Mozgov for like a while, and then we went to Yusuf Jokic.
Yeah, it must have been those guys. God,
Are we forgetting someone?
No, I feel like we are. JJ Hickson.
Oh God, I hate JJ Hickson.
Yeah, we had JJ Hickson, your favorite player of all time.
Yeah, he infuriated me more than any other player. Mainly just because George Karl kept starting him.
He started for a little bit. Eventually, he went back on the bench because he was actually so bad.
He was so bad. I'm so glad we've gotten past that era. That era was really difficult.
Yeah, we're past the rebuild mode. Now we're on to bigger and brighter
Yeah,
futures.
we're on to the development road.
Yeah, and
Which
then
is
to be
cool.
honest, it was if you were a part of the decade, you had your ups and downs, a lot of downs, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like we watched all of that, our development and our rebuilding through when
Yeah.
we were in college.
Yeah, we were certain that the future of our team was Emmanuel Mudiay and Yusuf Nurkic.
There was a picture actually I saw where it was Emmanuel Mudiay, Yusuf Nurkic, and Gallo, and they're wearing like the rainbow jerseys.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
They're trying to honor Dikembe, and they're like, "Remember when this was our future?" It was on Reddit, and I was like, "That's
What a
really
time.
crazy to think that's what we actually fought," which we did. A lot of people did. I mean, I fucking loved Emmanuel.
I thought Emmanuel was going to be a beast. Remember we went to the mall and waited in line for like an hour to get his autograph?
Yeah, and then he couldn't even sign our stuff, which is really
he
weird.
just signed a picture of himself.
He signed a picture of himself because he wasn't like signed to a contract yet. But it's like, man, you're gonna be on the Nuggets. Why
Yeah.
can't you sign this?
Like, why
weird
would you
licensing?
why would you set up an autograph signing if you can't even sign people's shit?
I don't know. It was
That
really
was
weird. Like
stupid.
he could sign like the draft hat, but we had a crappy draft hat that year.
Yeah,
I didn't want to buy
I didn't
that
buy
hat.
that hat. Yeah,
And I'm glad I didn't, because like the signature's not worth that much now.
I still have that hat in my room. Remember I got that hat and I had his like autograph like sewn into it.
Yeah, you got Jokic's.
I don't even know who Jokic was.
Yeah, probably not. He was like a fat kid that I was always hating on.
I don't even think he was like here yet. I think he was still in Serbia.
Yeah, he still might have been there for like a year, and then we brought him over.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a time, man. 2010 to 2020. We had our
Crazy.
early ups,
And had
middle
them up.
downs, and now we're back at ups.
Yeah, we're getting ups to finish out the decade.
Finish out the decade, and hopefully the next decade has many, many championships for us. I would hope for at least one. Probably not. I mean, maybe. Hopefully.
We'll see. 10 years is a long time.
10 years is a long time. I also forgot, we should do our coach of the team. Who's your decade coach? Is it
Brian
George,
Shaw.
George
It's
Karl,
George-
Brian
it's-
Shaw, or Mike Malone?
God. How long did we have Mike Malone? When did we hire him?
We had him since like Nurkic days.
It's like 2016.
Yeah, like 20, like since we were in college.
You
Like
c-
I think when we were sophomores in college, we got him.
He does deserve some love in there now, but
So like 2015, we got
I
him.
feel like Yeah, fuck it. I'll give it to Mike Malone.
You
Even
give
though it's
it
probably
Mike Malone.
George Karl, but I'll give it to Mike Malone.
I'm going to give it to Mike Malone, too, just because George Karl runs one system and one system only.
Yeah, a system that no longer works.
A system, it might work now, but he's just kind of stubborn because he doesn't want to shoot threes. His system was always just run and score a layup.
Yeah, it's true.
Which worked in Denver because of the altitude issues. But it only worked in the regular season. That's why we kept losing playoff games, because we had no idea how to play iso ball except hand it to Melo and be like, hey, Melo, shoot. So he was a good coach. I mean, you could give it to him because he did win a Coach of the Year, because he won Coach of the Year in this decade.
He did. Yeah, and he deserves love for that.
Malone did not. Malone was close. He was third, fourth. I know
It was Budenholzer and
Budenholzer won it. Doc Rivers. Who was the other guy?
was it? Where was Nick Nurse in there? No.
Nick Nurse wasn't in there. Maybe Mike Malone was third.
Maybe Mike Malone was third.
He was third.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only other person. No, it would have been Quinn Snyder because they underachieved.
Yeah, they weren't good that year. So
he was third.
he was third. So you
It's
could
close.
toss it up. So I mean, there you go. It was probably Mike Malone. I'm gonna give it to Mike Malone, mainly because he's still our coach right now, and he also has a whole year left in this decade to prove why he should be the coach. So there you go. I don't know what else. You want to do a 6-man?
Sure. Who's yours? I gotta think.
I'll do Jamal.
Jamal?
Yeah, I'll put Jamal on the 6-man.
Oh, like not an actual 6-man, just like
just
honorable
like a guy.
mention
Yeah,
guy.
honorable mention.
Yeah,
I'll put Jamal on 6-man.
I'll say Jamal.
I'll say Jamal has done a lot. He's improved quite a bit, and I think out of all the players we had in this past decade, he's probably one of the best still. So I'm gonna go with Jamal.
Think about that. He's top 5.
Yeah, it's a really bad decade. I mean, you could also put Nurkic. Like those two were probably.
I'm surprised you didn't put Gary.
I mean, Gary's good, but it's just like Gary's.
He is what he is.
He is what he is. Like, I mean, I like I said, I assume Gary to be on the team next decade, if we're doing this next decade still, which would be cool if we are.
Yeah.
But I expect him to be on the next decade. I just feel like this decade, his first year, he did absolutely nothing because Brian Shaw fucked him. Like, he didn't get to play at all. He played like 10 games, I guess, maybe. And then he's basically been a year behind in his development.
It's true.
Ever since then.
Man, Brian Shaw was such a bad coach.
Yeah, I know. I was really happy about him when we hired him, and it just didn't work out. But I mean, that's what happens. Assistant coach, they get praised when their playoff teams do good, because he was on the Pacer teams with Paul George and Lance Stevenson, and he was credited for their development. So we thought he could help our guys, and he helped none of them.
And that was not great.
But we're on to brighter pastures. And now, that's it for all we got for the podcast. So if you guys enjoyed and agree with our teams, let us know. Let us know who you thinks which team is better. Do you think my team's better? Do you think Phil's team is better? Do you think Phil's team's more appropriate? Do you think my team's more appropriate?
Yeah.
Either way,
your team's better.
my team's better. But
But-
does your team make more sense?
Yeah. What do you agree with? Because if we're gonna say which team's better, it's Keaton's. But which one do you agree with?
Which
more?
one do you want to go with? Because it could be either one. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the opinions. And if you guys have your own decade team that's different than ours, please let us know. Maybe we forgot some players that were kind of
I
good.
feel like maybe we're forgetting some big ones. So.
We could be. I don't know. There was a lot of dark years where I'm kind of just trying to repress it.
Yeah, just get through the season.
Yeah. So
Remember Jordan Hamilton?
I really thought he was gonna be good. Remember Quincy Miller?
Yeah.
Remember he got dropped?
What about? Oh, remember Evan Fournier?
You loved Evan Fournier.
I did. I thought he was gonna be good.
Remember Joffrey?
He was okay. Joffrey. I thought he was gonna be good too.
He's not even on the Spurs, I don't think, anymore. He really lost it. We had a lot of weird French players.
We tried a lot of times to find our
Jokic.
Jokic. It took a while, but we got him.
Got him. But yeah, let us know who you guys think should be on the all-decade team and who you think is correct. And if you like the podcast, please make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, leave a like. And then we're on YouTube, SoundCloud. They didn't put it on Spotify because no one asked for it, so I'm not going to do it. No one asked for it. But yeah, so we're glad you guys could check us out, and we really appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week.
Go Nuggets.